At 2:13 in the morning, Maria held the side of the hospital bed so tightly that her fingers trembled. Rain beat against the windows like small stones. Thunder rolled across the city, and every nurse in the maternity ward could hear the pain in her voice. But the pain in her body was not what broke her. What broke her was the empty chair beside the bed. That chair was meant for Daniel, her husband. The man who had promised her only 6 hours earlier, no matter what happens tonight, I would be beside you when our child comes. Now, his phone was switched off. His messages had one grey tick. His location was unavailable. Nobody knew where he was. Maria's mother, Mrs. Evelyn, stood beside the bed, wiping sweat from Maria's forehead with a small towel. She tried to calm down and even sound calm, but even she was worried. Maybe his phone battery died, she said. Maria shook her head weakly. Daniel never switches off his phone when I need him. Something is wrong. Another contraction came. Maria cried out. The nurse leaned forward and spoke gently. Maria, look at me. Your baby is coming. We need you to focus. But Maria kept looking at the door. Every time footsteps passed in the hallway, her heart jumped. Every time a male voice spoke outside, she turned her head. Every time the door opened, she hoped it was Daniel. It was never Daniel. Earlier that evening, everything had seemed normal. Maria had been at home, folding tiny baby clothes, smiling as she placed a pink blanket into the hospital bag. Daniel had been in the kitchen preparing tea. Are you scared? He asked. A little, Maria said. Daniel walked over, held her hand, and placed it on his chest. Feel that? My heart is beating fast too, but we will do this together. Maria laughed through her nervousness. You promise? I promise. I will not miss the birth of my first child. That was the last peaceful memory she had before the pain started. When her water broke, Daniel rushed to get the car. But as they prepared to leave, he noticed the fuel gauge was almost empty. The nearest fuel station was only 5 minutes away. Let me get fuel quickly, he said. Your mother is already on her way. I'll be back before the ambulance even arrives. Maria did not like the idea, but she nodded. Daniel kissed her forehead and ran out into the rain. He never came back. By the time Maria's mother arrived, Maria was crying on the sofa, not only because of the contraction, but because every call to Daniel failed. Her mother called an ambulance, and within minutes, Maria was taken to the hospital. Now, hours later, she was about to give birth without him. The doctor came in and checked her condition. His face became serious. Maria, the baby cannot wait much longer. We are moving to delivery now. Maria whispered, please call my husband again. Mrs. Evelyn dialed Daniel's number with shaking hands. It went straight to voicemail. Maria closed her eyes. One tear slipped down her cheek. He left me, she whispered. No, her mother said quickly, don't say that. But deep inside, Maria had already started to believe it. The delivery was long and painful. Maria screamed, cried, prayed, and begged for strength. The nurses encouraged her. Her mother held her hand. But that empty place Daniel should have filled became louder than every sound in the room. Then, just before sunrise, the cry of a newborn baby filled the hospital. The nurse smiled. Congratulations, Maria, it's a girl. Maria turned her head slowly. The nurse placed the baby on her chest. The little girl was warm, tiny, and perfect. Maria kissed her forehead and broke down in tears. Hi, my love, she whispered. I'm sorry your daddy is not here. For 3 days, Daniel remained missing. Maria named the baby Grace because, in her words, only grace carried me through that night. But the joy of motherhood was mixed with anger. Every time visitors came and asked, where is Daniel? Maria felt embarrassed. Some relatives whispered. Some blamed him. Some told Maria she had been foolish to trust him. By the third day, Maria was discharged. She returned home with her mother and baby Grace. The apartment felt different. The baby cot stood near the wall. The hospital bag sat beside the door. Daniel's slippers were still by the couch, exactly where he had left them. Maria stared at them and felt fresh pain rise in her chest. "I don't want to hear his name again," she said. That evening, just as Mrs. Evening was preparing soup in the kitchen, someone knocked heavily on the door. Maria froze. The knock came again. When her mother opened the door, Daniel's younger brother Samuel stood outside. His shirt was wet with sweat. His eyes were red. "Where is Daniel?" Maria demanded. Samuel swallowed hard. "Maria, Daniel is alive." Maria's knees almost gave way. "Where is he?" Samuel stepped inside and lowered his voice. "He was arrested." The room went silent. Samuel explained everything. On his way back from the fuel station that night, Daniel saw a car crash near the bridge. A pregnant woman was trapped inside the vehicle while two men tried to steal from people gathered around the accident. Daniel rushed forward to help. In the confusion, one of the attackers pushed him. Daniel fought back. Police arrived moments later and arrested everyone at the scene. Daniel's phone had fallen into a drainage gutter and shattered. He had no way to call anyone. His wallet was lost during the struggle because the case involved robbery. The police kept him longer while confirming witness statements. Maria sat down slowly, unable to breathe properly. "So he didn't leave me?" Samuel shook his head. "No. He kept begging them to let him call you. He told them his wife was in labor. Nobody listened at first." Maria covered her mouth. All the anger she had carried for 3 days cracked open and became guilt, shock, and relief. The next morning, Samuel took Maria to the station. She carried baby Grace in her arms. Daniel was sitting on a wooden bench, exhausted, bruised near one eye, and wearing the same clothes he left home in. The moment he saw Maria, he stood up. His eyes moved from her face to the baby in her arms. For a few seconds, he could not speak. Then his whole body shook. "Is that our daughter?" Maria walked closer, tears already failing. "Her name is Grace." Daniel stretched out his hands but stopped as if afraid he no longer deserved to hold her. Maria saw the fear on his face. Slowly she placed the baby in his arms. Daniel looked down at his daughter for the first time. His tears dropped onto the blanket. "I'm sorry," he whispered. "I tried to come, I promise you, I tried." Maria touched his face. "I thought you abandoned us." Daniel shook his head. "Never. I would crawl through fire for both of you." The officer standing nearby cleared his throat and explained that Daniel had been cleared after witnesses confirmed the story. The pregnant woman he helped had also survived. Maria listened quietly. Her heart was full of emotion she could not arrange. When they finally walked out of the station together, the rain had stopped. The morning sun was breaking through the clouds. Daniel held Grace carefully as if she were made of glass. Maria walked beside him, still hurt by the memories of that lonely delivery room, but no longer carrying the lie that he had chosen to disappear. That night, back at home, Daniel sat beside Maria and told her every detail. He cried when she described giving birth alone. Maria cried when he described begging strangers to believe him. Neither of them had experienced the same night, but both had suffered because of it. Maria finally said, "I was angry because I thought you chose not to be here. I thought you chose not to be there." Daniel answered, "And I was broken because I knew you needed me, but I could not reach you." They held each other for a long time. Baby Grace slept peacefully between them. From that day, Maria learned something she never forgot. Sometimes silence does not always mean betrayal. Sometimes absence does not always mean abandonment. Sometimes the person we are angry with is also trapped in a battle we cannot see. And Daniel learned something too. A promise is not only about being present when everything is easy. It is about fighting your way back when life pulls you away from the people who need you most. I hope you enjoyed the story. Kindly comment your experiences if you have had experiences like this. Watch out for more as we release more interesting stories. Thank you.